Today we have with us Mrs. Rachna Prasad, who is part of a big real estate group. So welcome to our show, Mrs. Rachna. Someone has selected a house. Does the paperwork take a lot of time?
In a real estate, it's very difficult to say how long.
Can you share a story about helping someone close a property deal and how was the experience?
When RERA was introduced, Bengal took a lot of time to introduce WB RERA here.
How expensive is the registration process?
Benefit from the government is always there. You should take advantage of that time period, because in between also there was a 2% benefit given by the government for certain period of time.
A lot of studies are there that women lose less money in the market compared to men.
Very few women will be in the trading business of stocks. They'll be in the long-term investments, because we have a lot of patience to stay on in the market.
When do you think is the right age to introduce children to, say, finances?
Warren Buffett started at the age of 11 and he said that I am late. When Nestle debacle happened, everybody started selling off Nestle shares. We have so much of belief in Nestle products. How can Nestle go wrong?
What sectors right now do you think are good?
I am very bullish on pharma. Today, if you have any symptom, I have to go to the doctor tomorrow.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Invest My Paisa podcast. Today we have with us Mrs. Rachna Prasad, who is part of a big real estate group. She also runs a co-working space, is part of an agricultural tools company, and has been the past president of Millennium Mams. So welcome to our show, Mrs. Rachna.
Thank you, Nidhi.
What do you think are the important things to look at when someone is considering to buy real estate?
See, first and foremost, I would say the credentials of the developer. What goodwill that developer has in the market. Then comes the community and locality, right? The locality you're looking for, the community you want to be a part of, makes sense. And then the facilities, the amenities in the project, and what is the requirement, what is the plate size you want, the square feet you are looking at, whether you'll be getting in the main market or you'll be getting little on the outskirts. So it depends on your budget. But first and foremost, it should be the developer. Because just as when you invest in a company, you are marrying that stock. In the same way, if you're buying a real estate from a renowned developer, then you're marrying that developer, right? Yeah. You having a long-term relationship with that person, right?
So, is there anything specific that they can look at when checking the credentials, or like, is it just verifying from friends and family or something?
See, when we are dealing with our customers, we deal on a personal level.
Okay.
My sales team is definitely there, but when someone is really interested, we make it a point before they buy the buy a flat in the project, or it's a commercial project, we engage with them directly.
Okay.
So that we can give them that assurance that yes, you are in the right hand. So where the developer or the promoter is not available for you, you should never go ahead and be a part of that project.
Makes sense, because very few developers actually personally involve themselves with the customers.
Yeah.
So do you see women getting involved in the decision-making process?
Yes, things have really changed, I would say. Yes, it was not before. When we were young, I didn't see that happening. But now when the decision regarding, especially the residential project, I've seen that women is given equal importance, and when the decision has to be taken by the male member of the family, they involve women, because women, they have that sixth sense, I would say. Yeah, they have that sixth sense, and they make certain decisions which the man of the house cannot. So they are taking, I would say, 50% of the decision they definitely take when they are deciding on their first home.
Okay, wow, that is good to know. And how long does it usually take for the whole process to complete? Say someone is buying the house. So I'm assuming that it takes a lot of time to get everything done and get it done. So how do you think the whole cycle works?
In a real estate, it's very difficult to say how long. Why? Because the stage of the project, if it's at a very initial stage, you get a very good price, but it takes a long time. Maybe it could take 3 years or 4 years, depending on the size of the project.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to just, go ahead and buy a house because you're in a hurry and you want to shift, so you want to take up a flat from a completed project,
Yes.
then
yes,
it doesn't
yes.
take time. It can happen in few days.
Few days.
Yeah, few days.
So
So it depends, what is the requirement and when do you require your house, or it could be office or whatever it is. So it depends. If you require on a long term basis, if you have time in hand like 3 to 4 years, then you would not go to a project where the prices are high and the project is completed, because definitely once you get the CC, then the prices are definitely a little higher from the
no.
other
So say someone has selected a house. Does the paperwork take a lot of time? Or you just mentioned if the
we
project...
facilitate. That's why you have to see a proper promoter, a good promoter, because they facilitate the paperwork for you. Because we have in-house lawyer, everything is done in-house. For the registration also, we make it a point that we help them out with all the process. Okay, it's not that, yes, my work is done, now you go and do your registration on your own. It's not like that.
Okay, because usually people are scared that the registration process is very tedious. It takes a lot of money and time.
Yeah.
How expensive is the registration process?
Governments, they keep on giving some sort of discount, like, 10% off, 2% off, something like, some or the other benefit from the government is always there. Okay. So you should take advantage of that time period, because in between also there was a 2% benefit given by the government for a certain period of time. So if you take advantage of that benefit, I think it works well for you.
Nowadays, there's this whole conversation on buying versus renting. Okay. So there's this chatter in social media where influencers are saying that why do you need to buy a home? Okay. So what is your take on that?
Do you think influencers are right? Because they are not in the system.
It's a gray area.
Yeah. So then again, it depends on the affordability. If you are too young and you can't afford, then you can go in for rent, right? But when you can afford after a certain stage of life, when you have made big for yourself or you have saved that amount and you can invest now, you're ready to invest in your home, then definitely buy is the best option. So it depends on affordability, because you can't afford to have a 7 crore house when at the age of 25 or 30.
Yeah. Right. So I usually tell people that 40 plus is the best time to buy a house, because in the initial years, you don't even know your family space requirement. We start family planning much later in life. And I think it's always good to have an asset where even if I'm not working, at least I have a roof over my head.
Of course. Very true. But if you are a successful entrepreneur at the age of 30, then why not?
Yeah. Why not? My thinking of 40 is that by the time you know, acha, ek bachcha hai, do bachcha hai, because the number of room space you need will keep changing.
There's more clarity at that stage of life.
Yeah. Now that more people want to work from home, any areas in Calcutta, do you think that कि अगर मेरे को office conveyance नहीं देखना है कुछ भी, which areas would you suggest?
Anytime CBD area. The Central Business District is the best area for offices, right?
Yeah.
But looking at the price point, if you're working from a co-working space, you can get affordable offices.
Yeah.
Right. If you're talking about only co-working space, I think being in the heart of the city is the best option.
Yeah.
Right. Even IdeaPod is in the heart of the city. That's why it attracts more and more people. Because if you have to meet, you keep on meeting other people for your businesses. You want to meet the directors of companies, entrepreneurs. Then if you want to meet the officers in various companies, everybody is located in the Central Business District, right?
Yeah.
People are few companies are moving little out towards Salt Lake area, towards Garia, towards New Garia. Slowly it's happening, but still, Calcutta is such a place that things happen at a very slow pace.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe what I'm saying today may not be right after 5 years, maybe after 10 years. But still today, people want to be in the Park Street area, in the office area, which is this is the hub, Kamak Street. So at this point of time, we Calcuttans feel that yes, we get everything in and around Park Street. So let's be here in this area.
Yeah, that is true. Like every time they ask you, "Acha, kahan milna hai?"
Yeah.
The area would be a preference, and it
Yes.
also gives a certain impression when you tell them, "Oh, I'm working out of this area."
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're in the premium space,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And I've visited your co-working space. I think the difference is that it's very well lit, lot of sunlight, and there's lot of plants around, which I've not seen in other co-working areas so much. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense to be in the business district despite the high rates.
Yeah, definitely.
So can you share a story about helping someone close a property deal, and how was the experience?
See, there are many experiences. If you want me to pinpoint one, I would say when RERA was introduced, Bengal took a lot of time to introduce WB RERA here. And there was a gap in between for, I would say, around 2 years when we didn't have any regulation act.
Oh.
Yes. And at that time, we were about to launch a project. And we were not sure, what regulation to follow and how to go about it. And our buyers would come and, they also had the same inhibition and same doubt that how to go about a property which is not registered with RERA. But we didn't have any option because West Bengal didn't, adopt, and nothing was there. So at that point of time, helping the customers, and since we had a goodwill, 35 years goodwill, they could trust us. And we were not supposed to sell also and not supposed to advertise till we had RERA in place. So at that point of time, retaining them and convincing them was a good experience for us, and a learning experience, I would say. And they stayed on till we got the RERA registration, and then they came and they did the booking and they completed the process. So that was a great experience for me, and I learned a lot. Because being in this business of real estate, there are so many things, so many compliances, and so many rules to learn from. So that made me, I would say that in those 1.5 to 2 years, I learned what I would have learned in 10 years.
Yeah, and holding a customer for 2 years is a very long time.
Yeah. So that was really it was great for us. Every opportunities, whatever is there, they are learning experiences for us. But that was something very extraordinary experience for all of us.
Nice. What do you think was right with RERA? Do you think it brought out the right changes?
Yes, definitely. It has brought about a lot of transparency, and everything is in favor of the buyers. Okay. Yeah. So here, because of RERA, the market has really become organized. And the unorganized players, they have been wiped out to a great extent.
Really?
Yeah, to a great extent. Because no nonsense now. You have to abide by it, or you are not in the market. You are outside the market. It's like that. That's why you must be seeing few of the good brands in the market. If you are aware of, little bit aware about real estate players, so they are there in the market, and those small names, every nook and corner you would be seeing one or the other small projects and developers, new names of the developers, so brand names also. So those you would see they have vanished or really visible. Yeah. Okay. So that change RERA has definitely brought about. And it's become convenient for us as developers also. It's for the buyers, but it has become very convenient for us.
Like how?
We don't have to rack our brains in unnecessarily convincing them that this is the rule. RERA rules are there. Everything is in place. We just have to go through it and follow. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. So there's this huge commotion about completion certificate nowadays, that once they don't get it, you can't register or something. Can you explain what is a completion certificate and why the whole ruckus?
According to RERA, when I file for RERA certificate, I have to give a deadline that yes, I will complete this project in 5 years. 5 years is the maximum. maybe 4 years or 3 years, depending on the size of the project. And if I don't complete this on time, then I have to pay a huge penalty to the buyer.
Okay.
Okay. So this has been written down. Now you have to do it, right? So completion certificate depends on that.
Okay.
Completion. And if I don't get the completions, then there must be some discrepancy, some sort of
thing which has
gone wrong from our end. So definitely that's why, as I said in my first sentence, that the developer has to be the best. Yeah. The credentials and their goodwill matters a lot. So once you get the CC, then everything is sorted.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Now it makes sense that why the CC gets delayed. Let's talk about your family office experience now. So how did you get into the investment space of equity and family office? And what are the things that helped you learn?
Thanks to Millennium Ma'ams, I would say. 15 years ago, I took a right decision to join this organization. Okay. Right? I joined it before I joined my family office.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So from that time, my learning started because I was inclined towards investments, but I didn't know the right way to invest. Right. And thanks to my mentor, Mr. Dhanuka, he introduced me to his mentor, to his guru, Mr. Warren Buffett.
Oh,
yeah. So we follow the tenets of Warren Buffett of long-term investing. Never lose money and follow rule number 1. Right. So, if you listen to the sentence that never lose money, how is it possible? In this time of volatility, definitely you lose some money, right? But if you are a long-term investor, I'm not talking about trading. If you're a long-term investor, you'll stay on.
Yeah, you're not booking your losses.
No, nothing. Because this is the time when you should just do nothing. This is not the time to invest more or book your profit. Look at the market trend. And for that, you have to really educate yourself. If you are well educated about your subject and you are well read and you know the trends, you've seen the trends in your past experience, maybe you'll feel at times that you've made a mistake or you shouldn't have bought few of the scripts. But over the long period of time, because we've already experienced during the pandemic also. Very close, 3 years ago. 4 years ago. So we all have burnt our fingers. But if you don't lose patience, then you will gain more experience by burning your fingers.
Yeah, I had recently met someone from HDFC Mutual Fund and he was talking about that, do you see any 35-year-old person like Warren Buffett or Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, like any young person in their 30s or 40s who's already made a lot of wealth? So nobody could answer and he was like, you see, that is why it takes time. People took 40 years.
How can you do it?
Yeah.
See, I say that I started very late in my life.
Yeah.
But still I made money through my gut feeling, through my knowledge and through my experience and through my patience.
Yes.
Patience is the key.
Yes.
Nestle, when Nestle debacle happened, everybody started selling off Nestle shares. But there is consumption story, right?
Yeah.
We have so much of belief in Nestle products. How can Nestle go wrong?
Obviously.
And I stayed on and I added more shares to my portfolio of Nestle. And today I made good money.
Yeah, that is a very prudent move. Yes.
Yeah. So you have to know the consumption story also of India, which has to be there and which will stay.
That is true. Like I remember in 2020 when the market had crashed, people had started panic calling कि अरे रहना है कि निकलना है, क्या करे नहीं करे. But this time I'm seeing a change that people
are more calm.
They are not so very कि अरे क्या हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है. And some are even looking to invest more, which is a good change. I think कि 3-4 years में I think it's been a big change, but still they don't understand कि the long term is 10 to 20 years and not 5 years, 6 years.
Right. Actually, pandemic mein, there was a feeling कि दुनिया खत्म हो जाएगी. Now they feel कि नहीं तब दुनिया खत्म नहीं हुई तो अब कैसे खत्म होगी?
True. What sectors right now do you think are good?
Sectors. Okay. So I'm very bullish on pharma. Yeah. Because now people have become more health conscious, right? Where just before pandemic we used to neglect our health. ठीक है, चलो ठीक है, आज नहीं कल ब्लड टेस्ट करा लेंगे, दूसरे दिन फिर कुछ चेकअप करा लेंगे. But people have become so conscious now that today if you have any symptom, I have to go to the doctor tomorrow.
Yes.
So pharma is really like, gaining traction. Pharma is here to stay. And with so much of change in environment and so much of change in global warming, we are like, exposed to more and more illnesses. So I would say like pharma is very bright. Pharma sector is very. Then again coming to consumerism, right? FMCG. FMCG is here to stay. क्योंकि खाना तो हम लोग खाएंगे, right? And different type of products. Different types of cheese, different types of milk products, so many things which we will consume. Beauty products, we will consume, right? And it will increase, which was not there before, but now it's, and every day new brands are coming up. So there is a scope of market. That's why the brands are also coming up. They're introducing new products also every single day.
Yeah, plus with social media, I think the consumption of beauty products has gone up considerably.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And अभी अप्रैल में जो इनकम टैक्स कट हो रहा है, अब एक्स्ट्रा पैसा लोग कहाँ खर्चा करेंगे? I think this is where it's going to go.
Makeup पे भी करेंगे, right?
So I completely agree with you that consumer products are never going to go.
Yeah, and women, like awareness of women also has increased, right?
Yeah.
जो पहले नहीं था. We are more conscious now. We are more exposed to the world. We are going out of the house. We are like, involving ourselves with the outside world. So we also need our makeover. We are also conscious about how we look, how we dress. So that is also increasing, adding to the consumerism. Right. So there are a lot of things like, if you observe from in your day-to-day life, if you go to a departmental store, you see what is selling more, what type of products. So, doing all these exercises, you'll definitely come to a conclusion that, yes, we should be investing in. Then EVs.
Yes.
EVs are coming up, like, it's becoming so popular. Everyone wants to own an EV. So we have to look at the sector, like automobile sector is fine, but which company is more selling in our market, in Indian markets, so usage wise. So all these things, if we look at, we'll definitely know what is there to come.
Nice. So tell me, Sai, I find it really incredible that like you as a woman was made part of the family office, and you've also been an equal partner in the real estate business. And I was very impressed when I had come across you, and you were, people were reaching out to you for business and all. So how was your experience in your time when there are such less women entrepreneurs in the system? Like, did you face any difficulty, or what was your learning there?
See, first step you have to take. Right, as women, you have to take your first step. Then people are there to help you. And family, the support of your husband is very important, which I was lucky enough to get good support from my family, from my children and my husband. Okay, so definitely that is there. But still, you should have that never say die spirit. You have to be in the game. You cannot just think, when men have taken the charge, why should I? No. If you are an earning member of the family, you should be taking care of your money also. Right? Where you're investing. जिससे भी पूछो, वो part मेरा husband करता है. भाई या फिर कमा क्यों रहे हो? You take care of that part also. Then you'll be really like taking care of the entire circle, entire system. Then you'll be like, more financially empowered. And you have to be financially empowered. It's not about financial literacy only. Right? And real empowerment comes from finances. Once you are in charge of your finances, you will be empowered. That's it.
And it's not about earning money. It's just about knowing कि आपका पैसा कहाँ पर है, क्या लगा है.
एकदम. And any unforeseen situations happen in the family, मुझे तो कुछ मालूम नहीं है कहाँ पे क्या है.
हाँ,
राइट,
yeah.
हो ही सकता है ना, किसी के
हाँ,
साथ भी हो सकता
हाँ.
है.
जैसे I remember discussing with you that Rakesh Jhunjhunwala's wife had spoken in an interview that once my husband passed away and all his portfolio came to me, I was clueless.
Yeah,
And now I regret not learning from him that what he was doing.
yeah. तो बाद में रिग्रेट करने से अच्छा पहले से अपने लाइक वी शुड पुल अप आवर सॉक्स.
हाँ, कि लोग बोलते हैं क्या जरूरत है, वो तो संभाल रहे हैं ना.
हाँ. But now things are changing. Things are really changing.
I hope with the next generation, I don't think we would even be discussing ki how involved women are, because
I think it'll happen maybe next 3 to 4 generation.
3 to 4 generations.
Because still I see in the next generation, lot of women, they still don't bother about keeping a track of their money. Yeah.
A lot of studies are there that women lose less money in the market compared to men. Okay. What do you think about that?
Because we have a lot of patience to stay on in the market. We are not in a hurry to sell.
Okay, yeah.
And very few women, if you compare, very few women will be in the trading business of stocks. They'll be in the long-term investments.
Yeah. They don't sit every day.
No, they won't do that. Anything could be the reason, but that is one of the main reasons why they lose less money in the market. And men lose because people have taken it up as their business, options, trading, and derivatives and what not. Yeah. So I don't know where we are heading to.
Like it's a full-time business right now.
Yeah. So that's happening in the market.
Talking about your co-working space now. So you said you came up with the idea during COVID. And but COVID must have been a period post which people started using co-working spaces, because most of them stayed back in their hometowns and they preferred to work remote and all of that. So what was your learning from the business? And then you eventually integrated a cafe also there. So what brought about the idea?
So Nidhi, actually, truly saying, there were co-working spaces before the pandemic as well, who used to say that it's a co-working space, but it was not in the real sense, because co-working means coming together of the community of the workers. So if you sit in your private cabins and work in a particular zone, that doesn't mean that you're interacting with each other, right? So when I opened the space, I had an idea that it has to be on a very modern concept, in a way where all the businesses, all the entrepreneurs and freelancers and startup entrepreneurs, they are sitting together, interacting with each other and learning from each other and collaborating. Right. So that's called a co-working space, where a community is built of the co-workers.
Okay.
Right. So I had that idea in mind.
Nice.
Because if you just, sit in seclusion in a particular office and not knowing about who is sitting in the next table, then that doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. So that's why there was little resistance also in the Calcutta market, that how can people sit together and work? It will create a confusion and people will get disturbed. But over the period of time, I see they put their headphones and they are working on their laptops. They are not bothered who's sitting next to them. And when during the break time or whenever they take a little bit of, tea break, they interact with each other. And a lot of them, they are helping each other also in the process. Yeah. Because there are various businesses sitting there, and someone who is from a social media background, they are hiring that person to do, to help with their business. Yeah. So this is called co-working in the real sense.
Yes, that is very true, because then you are networking also in the same space.
Yes, absolutely.
So I saw that you've also integrated a cafe into your co-working space. Those are like two very different businesses. So how did you bring about that?
So I just wanted to have something very interesting there at IdeaPod, and a good coffee, I would say, always adds value, right? If you're working, you are like, you crave for good coffee and some good snacks. So that gave me an idea, and I introduced Café Bloom in the IdeaPod space, and it's doing really well, and it has added that extra edge also to the space. And people come here for cafe also. It's not only about IdeaPod. So the customers of IdeaPod, they are the customers of Café Bloom, and then Café Bloom customers. So it has a multiply effect, I would say.
And then they just come in to experience the space maybe for a few minutes, and it maybe brings them to the space.
Yes,
again.
absolutely.
Nice. And I've also seen that you've started community events during the weekends, which I have not seen any other co-working space do, and I think it's a great idea. So how did you come up with that?
So it adds extra revenue to the space. And the co-workers, they don't work on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays still till 4 o'clock. A lot of them, they come and, they use the space. So Saturday evening and entire Sunday. So we are open on all 7 days. And this time of the week, we use it for events, social events, then other events, educational events, and a lot of other, meetings and conferences. So a lot of things we have it on weekends. So it makes the weekend a little special also, and entertaining, and plus we have extra revenue for our space. Yeah.
Nice. So in the last few years, a lot of women have started their own businesses. So do you see more women coming into your co-working space?
Yeah, we have around 50% of women working from IdeaPod. Yeah.
50% is a very
50%,
good ratio.
around 50%. And my employees also at Prasad Group and IdeaPod, more than 50%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is very rare to find nowadays.
Yeah, and they feel very safe, and they feel very comfortable also being in the space because of the environment. And I'm also a woman, so I take special care, and I give it a personal touch also to the space.
Yes, definitely. I'm sure about that. We were discussing that you have 2 daughters, and you've tried to get them into financial literacy at a very young age. So how did you go about that, and when do you think is the right age to introduce children to, say, finances?
Right age? Warren Buffett started at the age of 11.
Yeah.
And he said that I am late.
Okay.
Yeah. So right age as early as possible. Okay. And both the daughters are financially savvy, and they take care of the investments they are earning, and they're taking care of their money also. And they are very particular about creating wealth out of the money. So so it was I didn't have to put that extra effort to train them, but it was in the family. Yeah. So they also took it up, and they are also very very serious about investing along with the work they are doing.
What is the biggest money myth or misunderstanding that you have experienced in, say, women around you? Think of money a certain way, or they've had some belief about money that you see change over time.
Yeah, so I would say now women have become a little more sensitive and about money, and they have started budgeting and saving to invest. So which was not there before, because they didn't know about saving. So they never used to save and give their entire responsibility to their husband. So now there's a shift. And Millennium Mams is also doing a lot, to bring about that awareness in women. And women they are becoming more particular about their investing habits, I would say.
Yeah, like earlier, I think they would say कि ये तो खर्चा का पैसा है.
Yes, yes. लेकिन अभी क्या है? लगता है कि saving का भी पैसा है. Right. So you have to save, because unless you save, where will that corpus come for you to invest? So that has to be taken care of. And I think slowly and gradually, this awareness is definitely coming. Yeah.
Okay. Like there's this latest trend in real estate investment where people buy a fraction of the property, and they invest money there, and they get some return out of it, whatever the rental yield is or something. Every company has a different thing. Like, do you have an opinion on that, Ki? How that's...
Actually, we are not into rentals.
Okay.
We are not into rentals. We develop the property and sell it outright.
Okay.
So, but those who deal in rentals, I would say that there should be some liquidity. So you should look at option, because maybe you have invested in a property where rentals become very difficult. So for that, you have to see the locality, see the market size, and understand it properly before venturing out.
Okay.
Before
Because
invest-
sometimes there's no rental only coming.
Yeah.
Haan.
Because markets have become very unpredictable, be it real estate market or stock market. So maybe this is a cycle, and maybe after a year or so, again, there's a churning happening and we get more opportunities in the rental market. But I don't know, I really don't know about this, what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, we'll try to wrap up now, but before we end, do you have any tip or advice for the women out there who are looking to invest into real estate or start their investing journey?
In real estate?
In real estate or otherwise?
Okay. So I would say that those who want to venture into real estate or stock market, first they should do their homework right. They should educate themselves, right? There are so many platforms, online and offline. So we should be joining that platform, and it's always good to have a mentor in your life. Right, where you can just go for any advice anytime, right? And if you're not well versed with the subject, don't hesitate to
ask someone,
to reach out to a consultant, to reach out to someone who knows the subject. So educating yourself and reading and being with it, being updated about the latest trends, that helps you a lot. Okay. Right. Because if you have half knowledge, then it becomes very dangerous. You get some tips from your friends and you go about investing. Never do that. Never play with your hard-earned money. You should be very, very wise in investing.
True.
Invest wisely, then you'll be sorted for life. And you should be prepared. For any unforeseen situation, you should always be prepared with your money. There should be some cash in your bank.
Yes.
Right. You should not be fully invested.
True.
Right. And when opportunities come, if you're prepared, then miracles happen. Right. So you should be prepared in all situations.
I agree with you on these things because firstly, I think women start slow because they're scared of making a mistake. उनको लगता है अगर मैंने इन्वेस्टमेंट में कुछ गलती कर दी तो मेरे को घर पे कोई ना कोई सुना देगा.
True.
तो इसलिए I think they're scared to start. So you very rightly said that there should be a mentor or any person who you are comfortable with.
Yes.
That you go and at least get some confidence.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like you keep mentioning about reading. Do you read finance books or?
I read few magazines like Capital Market. Okay, to just you compare, to understand what's going on and what is the PE ratio of the sector, of the companies. Little bit overview, not too much deep into a balance sheet and profit and loss. And then I read few books also. Warren Buffett, like the Tao of Warren Buffett is my Bible.
Nice.
So I would say every week I just, flip across the pages and read few sentences by Warren Buffett. It gives me a lot of motivation. And then a few books like Ikigai and then the Purusharthas written by the writer of Ikigai, a little bit of spiritual books. So yeah, flavor of all types
everything. It was lovely to know about your journey and about Millennium Mams. So thank you so much for taking out time for this. We have a small gift for you.
Thank you so much.
And I learned a lot today talking to you, and I hope everyone else does too.